John Powderly, Australian Self-Defense. Today we're going to go over some more advanced kicks. So we've covered already front kick, turning kick and side kick in the basic series, and we're going to go over some ways to perhaps cover a bit more ground. Some of these are on the syllabus, some of them not. Some of them are my favourites, really good ways of covering some ground. So I'm going to start with, there'll be 3 off the front foot, and then there'll be 1 off the rear foot. So we're going to start with our front foot ones. Some of these will lend themselves to, like the technique will be good for a turning kick or a front kick, some of them not so. So I'm just going to give you the ones that I think will work for each one and not try to be too tricky. So one of the things that we'll often have on the syllabus and in basic technique, you'll have your front kick or turning kick off the rear leg and either stepping on down or stepping back. That's good. That's never going to get someone unless they're walking into it or unless you're starting off with some combinations and setting that technique up. One thing that I find really helpful is an off the front foot technique. It doesn't work so well for a front kick, but it works really nicely for a turning kick. And if you're in this posture and you're really ready, then this can just be popped up very quickly. It's a bit like a jab. If someone's not expecting that, that can really get in there quickly, and there's a way to do that. So one of the things to do, if you have a look at my rear foot here, what I'm doing is I'm dragging my foot out, and I'm dragging the foot with my technique. Watch my rear leg. It's just being dragged. So I'm moving my whole body. So it's not like I'm pushing off, it's being dragged. Okay? So that would be the first drill that you try, is you just try and lift the knee and the hip out and drag that foot. Okay, so I'm dragging about 2 feet there. So if we're going for an opponent that's a fair way away, I'll do this on the bag soon, going for an opponent that's a fair way away, you can really reach out and get them when you're a fair way away. So that's off the front foot. I wouldn't do a front kick like that, it doesn't work so well. Turning kick, nicely. Side kick again, not so well. So that's the first one, not so much on syllabus, but that's a goodie. One on syllabus is a sliding front kick, and also, perhaps not on syllabus, is the sliding turning. I think they're both really good. And all this is like a skipping motion. So skip one leg up, and it's either the front kick or a turning kick. I love turning kicks that way, they're really good. Cover a lot of ground, they're fantastic. So again, with this one, the idea is to cover distance. So what you really want to think about before you do the kick is just get your knee up there. Like so. Just drill that a few times. Skip up, like so. Skip up. Then you can do the same with your turning, like so. Skip. And then when you want to do it, you're ready to go. So that's 2 off the front foot. I think they're really good, especially that one. I think that one's a really nice one to gain a lot of ground on somebody. The one just off the front foot straight away with no other movement is a really nice snappy one. That takes a little bit more to get going, but I think it's a nice surprise too for people. It just comes in and they don't see it coming. The last one's a bit more tricky. So this one's a Karate Kid type one. Nonetheless, I think fairly effective. So you're roosting off the rear leg, but you'll be kicking off the front leg. So, like so. Right, so coming back. Now with this one, any sort of jumping kick, you want to land the technique while you're in the air. If I jump and then land, and then kick, I've completely wasted all that energy. So there's nothing really it's just not worthwhile doing. I may as well walk up to them and then kick them, all right? So you want to land that kick while you're in the air. Why do you want to do that? For one, it's going to be quicker. 2, you're going to have a lot of momentum and energy. If you're going to do a jumping kick, you want to be landing that kick while you're in the air. It's a little bit like landing a punch while your foot is still in the air and your body's moving forward. You don't want to step and then punch. Not much behind that, not much speed, not much power. Okay? So this one, front foot, Again, you can just practice lifting the one knee high and then the other. Like so, just practice that. Now that's for front kick. For turning, I'm just turning myself. All right, so then doing the kick, front kick, turning. That's a nice one, I like that one. All right, so that's 3 different ways of gaining a little bit of distance on your opponent, because you're never going to be stepping, or you're never going to be sparring within arm's length, or even within foot length. You're going to be sparring a little bit distance away to keep yourself safe. So that's 3 front foot kicks to get a bit of distance. Now we're going to do a rear foot one. The important thing with this, and the one that I see, the one that we have on syllabus, is jumping turning. It's a really tiring kick to do 15 times in a row. I'm not going to do 15. What I see going wrong is people lifting one leg and then the other. It just looks really awkward. That's one thing. The other thing I see is people jumping, landing, or as they land, that's when they kick. Again, remember, we want to land the kick as we're moving through the air, and in that way we will have more speed because we're getting the kick out earlier. We'll also have all of our body weight behind it. If we land and then kick, we're losing a lot of our momentum. All right, so jumping, turning. Well, let's do jumping front first. I like this one. It's like the kicking version of that, that Superman punch that you see in MMA. Pretty surprising. If you have one of these coming for you, it's hard to get out of the way. Right, so you're sparring and someone's a fair distance away and you can jump in and cover a lot of distance. I've covered a sort of a metre there, a mat worth or more. If we're doing the jumping turning, same sort of thing. It's a bit easier to hit onto a pad, hitting into something. So jumping, turning, jumping, front kick, main thing, jump. This is the drill for you. Jump, switch your legs. Jump, switch your legs. Now jump, switch your legs while you're going forwards. Get that movement. Listen to my feet. I land down almost the same time. So I'm jumping, moving forward, pivoting through the air, and then all I need to do is add to that the kick. I'm a long way from the back. This is about probably where I want to be if I'm sparring. I don't want to be here because I can be hit. Very easy for me to kick somebody, very easy for them to kick me. So sparring distance, I'm going to be out this far. Jumping, turning, let's say jumping front for starters. Nice, I've got in there very quick. I'm a long way out. Jumping, turning, same thing. In the syllabus, you want to be slightly off to the side, so you're jumping in and across into your target. Fighting an opponent, you're probably going to be more square on. But what you're really going to do is you're still going to move crossways because you want to move through your target. Remember that hitting the target that we've talked about, going across. It's extending not to the middle of your target, but a foot past at least. So I'm going to be moving sideways, and I'm going to be moving and thinking about passing my leg through that opponent. Right, so again, I'm a long way away from this opponent. And that's a nice one. Same on the other side. This one you can do in the same way, up to the head. You're going to be kicking with the instep. That's going to be more of a snappy kick, or you're going to be landing it into the ribs. Either way, a very threatening kick. Anything where you're jumping into your opponent, I actually think they're really good. Some people can them, but I've found that mostly in sparring, you're in there quick enough to really put them under a load, and maybe someone who's an exceptional mover can get out of the way, but usually you're making them, you're catching them. Okay, you're a long way away, they don't know what's happening, and suddenly you're in with a kick. Okay, really, really good technique. All right, so that's a few techniques. There were 3 of those off the front foot, 1 of them off the rear, which is the jumping ones there. And the main things, hitting while you're in the air and while your body's moving. Use that momentum. If you're landing down first, you lose both your momentum and the timing. You've wasted time in kicking, and that person is going to get out of the way. All right, so that's a few things for you, and practice those, work on those, and let me know how it goes. Till next time.